So the reason why I started getting into biohacking was because I had 60 different health issues that I wanted to solve or improve. And so I think all the things that we want to do requires us to be in optimal health. Anything that we're experiencing, it all starts from health. And I think if you can manipulate the body in a way that is healthy and optimal, then you can have a much better human experience. So it's benefiting quite a lot. I've recently been focusing more on exercise, but I try to do everything in the sense of like my diet is pretty dialed in. I exercise, try to get different varieties of exercise. I take a fair bit of supplements. I take a few drugs that are necessary, and but mostly I'm very focused on fitness, brain function. So I try to make it so that my life is designed that it kind of happens automatically. I don't have to put a lot of effort into it. So it has to be somewhat of a habit. Yeah, so biological age is not a strong, it's a fluid concept, meaning it really is depending on what you're testing. So aging is not one thing. My age will depend on what test is being measured. And I think that there's some better and worse tests. I think all tests have some value generally, but the one that AIWO uses is the best out of all the tests, but I wouldn't use it as a single test. So AIWO has a unique element in my biohacking efforts. What I've done is really worked on the software piece of how to integrate genetic information, lab tests, and symptoms, conditions, and interests, and have an output of, okay, here's the top recommendations. But some of the inputs are deficient. So we focused on the DNA part, and so that part is good. But when it comes to lab testing, there's so many different kinds of tests. If you want a DEXA scan, that could easily cost $500 in the US. Here, it's a tenth of the price, and AIWO includes it in its package. And so the more data I have, the better, and AIWO allows me to get a lot of very important data to make health decisions. Me and AIWO have a lot of very similar philosophical approaches, which is you really have to treat the body in a way that is holistic, and you can't just focus on one data point of what's going on in the body. It needs to be a comprehensive picture. So what AIWO does is look at that comprehensive picture, and then they can see what's wrong and then tackle that in many ways, which is similar to my approach. You want to first get all the data, right? And then you could see how you want to tackle that. So the epigenetic test is, again, it tells you your pace of aging. I think it gives you a snapshot of a lot of different measures and variables. So it doesn't tell you exactly what you need to do. That's where the rest of the AIWO program comes in. But it tells you a snapshot of where you're at in terms of a whole bunch of variables. And that could be useful in just getting that snapshot, and I think it could be a wake-up call. For example, you could see what your rate of aging is, and generally, the healthier somebody is, the lower that number, they're going to be aging at a slower rate. And so I think if somebody comes and they see their rate of aging is quicker or not slower, then it tells them they need to be doing something different.
I would recommend really focusing on getting as much testing as you can do, and really trying to get to the root of the issues, which is what the program is designed to do. But trying to get to as much testing as possible. In general, when I come, I do a test when I come and when I go, so that I can get a better baseline. I think that's probably one takeaway that I would give to people, that getting tested twice, even when they're here, 1 week at least in a year just dedicated to your health. Team has been fantastic, and the variety of services that they offer is really compelling. This is my 5th time here, so that kind of attributes to how much I like the program. I keep on getting value every time I come. I highly recommend the AIWO program. It'll teach you how to prevent disease, how to live longer, slow your rate of aging, be happier, and feel better, which is the most important thing.